Hey everyone, so today I want to talk about my journey in coming into my self love, just further detail on the mindset that I used to be in and the process that it took to get to where I am now. So I wrote down some notes because I found that I wanted to make some notes so I wouldn't lose my train of thought so easily. So start with core beliefs. I was reviewing my notes yesterday, just from my notes app. I was deleting old notes, and I came across a lot of journal entries that where I didn't have my pen and paper, I would type it on my phone, and it was very enlightening, helping me recognize how far I've come. I don't even recognize the woman that I was, and I'm proud of that. And also, it was kind of sad to see where I was, but I think it's just going to be important to share that part of my story for anyone that probably will go through the same thing or is in that same headspace. There is more out there for you. You just gotta be willing to not settle for anything less than you know that you deserve. So, with core beliefs, I saw a lot of me believing that I wasn't worthy of queen treatment and that I wasn't lovable or that I was difficult to love. And that relationships had to be hard. And yeah, stuff like that. So that would be very hard for me in any type of relationship, but mainly my struggle was in romantic relationships. I had good friendships, like great friendships that were very supportive and attentive to me and even saw my worth more than I did, because I would complain to them about the relationship I was in and they'd be like, girl, get out of there, like you do not need that. And it's not that these were necessarily bad men. I don't want people thinking that, but it's just I create my own reality. So if something in me identified with that, then that's the love that I was going to be seeking to validate my inner experience. So those core beliefs in me, until they changed, I was just going to keep on seeking relationships that would show me that I was unlovable or difficult to love or this, that, and the third. Yeah, the men that I was with weren't giving me what I deem as my queen treatment. You decide for yourself what you deem it as, but they weren't like taking me out on dates as often as I wanted, or they, for instance, like wouldn't pay for dates, and they wouldn't. Sometimes they would want to meet up, or me drive all the way over to them, and they would show up late, and they would be on their phones and not present. Stuff like that I knew upset me, and I would just tell them. I would either not say anything, or I would just like pretend that it didn't matter, even though I know that my feelings were being hurt in the moment, and I would just be very understanding on the outside. So they would think that treatment was okay, and they would continue it, and the cycle would restart. I would just keep on having those feelings, bottle them up, and it would only come out when I was just done and over with feeling any little emotion, and it would just all come out like, oh, but you're like this and you do that, and it would just be this explosive reaction. And when I really could have just observed the treatment that they were giving to me, noticed that I don't like it, and tell them that this is not how I want myself to be treated, and I can't control anyone's actions, but it is on me to communicate what I like and don't like. So not to say that you should just go and tell people and that they'll just do it, and then, or that they should do it. You just decide if that's the person and treatment that you're willing to accept for yourself. And I will say that because I was so used to this treatment that kept me feeling bad about myself and bad within the relationships I was in, it was first off hard to communicate it, and then it was harder to stand on that communication, like stand by it and not accept anything else, because that was all I knew at the time. But when I did decide to communicate it and see who did or didn't adjust to me, then it was like the next step was to cut them out of dating me, cut them off from dating me, and just pray that there was better out there for me, which I had to believe in it, because if I didn't, then I would have just stayed and settled and continued to be hurt. But what really helped me was just knowing that I existed in the world, and there's got to be other people out there who want the same experience that I do, that want partners who are attentive and not so connected to their phones while they're on dates, and want to spend quality time with each other, connecting, and what else, like, that want to do those little things for me, like getting my doors and picking me up and just treating me how I want to be treated and express that I wanted to be treated. So yeah, I held to that standard and just didn't accept anything else. And yeah, that was it. If someone else wasn't inclined to treat me the way that I wanted to be treated, I would just tell them like my boundary and what I expect. But mostly I was observing on dates. I would be silent and take in their personality. I would take in their actions. I wouldn't just tell them off the bat, oh, get my doors, please, or no, I would just observe. And that would let me know whether or not I wanted to continue to give this person another date. So, yeah. Less is more when it comes to that. I don't feel like you should just have to like keep on explaining yourself. You can observe the person and let them be who they are, and open yourself up to people that you're truly looking for. So yeah, I went through some notes without even meaning to just now. Yeah. Okay. So I guess what I wrote down was to describe how I don't recognize my old self, and how I was settling for less. So when I looked back on my old journal entries yesterday, I didn't recognize myself because I couldn't believe that, I wake up with such a positive attitude and have such a positive partner that I couldn't imagine me thinking anything else but about the queen treatment that I am receiving and the love that I'm receiving, the healthy love. And it was just a shock. I didn't want to delete it just because it's kind of like a relic. But yeah, I think that just shows like how far I've come and that I made it. I didn't just have to like sit in that old mindset and keep on accepting that. I will say that some of these partners that I had dated would convince me that they're like what I was looking for wasn't out there, that I was either wanting too much or chasing an ideal that wasn't real. And I've had people like quote Bible references just to keep me from holding to that standard. So at one point, I had to just choose to remind myself that I exist. So there's someone out there, at least one other person. There's many, don't get me wrong, but at least one other person out there that wants the things that I want. And I had to just speak that more louder in my head than the opinions that I was receiving, and not listen to the people that were trying to convince me otherwise. I also, there was this point where I told myself, I'm gonna get this love. Like, God put this desire in me, this divine union desire within me, and I have to trust that He put that desire within me for a reason. And who am I gonna believe right now? Am I gonna believe the humans in front of me? Or am I gonna believe the faith that God put in me? So I was like, you know what, God? There's this like little mustard seed of hope that you have a great guy out there for me, my counterpart, that's truly for me. And I have to just walk on that and just believe in that. And I told him, like, okay, well, if it's not in this lifetime, it'll be in the next. And when I released that expectation that it had to be like soon, or that it had to look like this, or, it just, that's actually where it ended up coming. Like, when I just put it into God's hands and I was like, you know what, I don't care if I get it in this lifetime, I'm done. Like, and still remained open. I didn't cut myself off from dating. I just said that I'm not worried anymore about finding the right guy for me. I was like, that's on you. So keep sending me people to love and experience, and I will do that and I will show up. But as far as marriage and like my soulmate, it's gonna happen eventually. It don't have to be this lifetime. And I just like gave up. And that's when it came to me. When like, the greatest loves came to me. So that's like, again, less is more. Like, the less that I tried to control the outcome and how it happened and when it happened and with whom it happened with, the more love I received. So I want to also say, like, right now I am receiving queen treatment just in general, with the guy that I am dating, and just with male friends. Like, they'll call me queen, or like they'll treat me a certain way compared to how they used to. People will offer to get my door more, and I don't know, it's just a difference than the treatment that I used to receive. And that just tells you that what you will believe inside, like, your reality will reflect that. So the more that I started believing that I was worthy of the treatment that I desired, the more the universe was like, yeah, of course, we'll send you this person to come along your path and show you that you are. And anytime it happened, anytime somebody, male or female, would hold the door for me or something like that, I would just say, thank you, God, like, I appreciate you. And the more that I started seeing that everywhere, and I started seeing love everywhere, the more it kept me open to more loving relationships. And I will say something else that truly helped me was this calling in your soulmate manifestation journaling that I found from this, I think it's Anastasia Rose, I think. Oh, I should have looked up the name. But it was on Facebook. I used to watch her readings, because she gave like channeled messages from the angels and stuff like that. So I remember looking at all of her like love readings, and they were always so cute, and I would just watch them like once a day or whatever. And she made a course about which I have mentioned in another video, but she made a course, and one of the PDFs that you would have in her course was like manifesting your soulmate. And it was a 33-day journaling prompt but she told you to do it for 99 days. So you would just start back at day 1 after the 33rd day. And so every day I would like journal that out, and just sitting there with time to myself. And when you're writing it out, you would speak it too. So just speaking that life into me and writing that story out for me of this beautiful love every day. And like, that would just put me in this positive mindset to be able to receive and see love more often than I used to. And I think that that really helped eliminate the core beliefs that I had. And so I started seeing like more love instead of rejection, and redirection instead of rejection. And so if someone, for instance, like canceled a date, if somebody canceled a date or didn't take action into pursuing me, I wouldn't sit there and dwell and think like less of myself. I then started thinking like, oh, well, God's got something better in store for me, because this is the love that I'm about to receive, or that I am receiving every day. It's those prompts that I was doing. So that really helped shift my mindset and just see love everywhere I looked, and pour out those old core beliefs and pour in more healthier ones with stronger foundations, and that improved my self-worth, my self-esteem. It put me on like a different level, because then I would feel internally all this joy before I would step out into the world every day. And I committed to it. I did it like more than the 99 days. Maybe I took a break in between, but I came back to it and I did it again, and came back to it and I did it again. And in those times, in those like 3-month spans, I experienced like new heights. I remember praying for like luxury and being adorned in jewels, and one of these guys like booked a trip to Puerto Rico, and he just like adorned me in jewelry. And I don't know, it was just like just all these experiences that I didn't expect to get with my past mindset was now just like happening anytime I asked for it. So yeah, that about like wraps it up. And I know how much this helped me, so I know how much it will help you. And I look forward to you standing on that love that you know that you deserve and not settling for anything less. All right? Bye.